You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Good evening, I'm the Game Tutor, and tonight I'm going to be looking at Her Story, a narrative detective game on Steam and iOS. Her Story is an indie game from Sam Barlow, the designer of the rather excellent Silent Hill Shattered Memories, and sees you navigate an old computer database trying to find out information on a murder case from 1994. Now, the database in this game is a mess, and without the ability to view the whole interviews, you must instead search for clips by searching for words that appear in the transcripts of the sections. For example, if you choose terms such as speeding or witness, and if those words appear in the transcript of one or more of the clips in the database, they are shown to you for viewing. Now, you can only see 5 clips at a time, so this encourages you to search for more obscure terms as you try and unravel the mystery of the murder of Simon and the interviews of his wife. What really drew me into this game is how well it really made me feel like I was doing genuine detective work. There's no tutorial or guidance, you're merely looking at a computer terminal knowing you need to solve the cases of a murder. Not for years have I used a scrap of paper to write down notes as I progressed through the game, and this approach to Her Story was fantastic and really gave me a nostalgia feel for games of yesteryear. Now, the game relies heavily on the player's interest to drive the narrative forward, but even though I am a notorious cutscene skipper, I was so engrossed in the world of the game at no point did I skip any of the sequences. Had this game appeared on the Sega CD 20 years ago, this would have been a killer app that we'd still be talking about today. Now, the time setting of this game is perfect. The dubious operating system with great pop culture references to things such as Amstrad computers, You've Been Framed and CFAX. 1994 is also a time that many of this game's obvious target audience will remember, and that's not to say that younger gamers will lose all points of reference. The video clips are excellent, the acting is excellent, and they've been perfectly designed to look old. I spoke to Sam at a press event a few months ago, and he told me how making the clips, that were filmed on an HD camera, look like shitty VHS from the 90s was actually one of his harder tasks. Now, as great as it is, the game is not perfect. It took me about an hour and a half to solve the murder, and probably about another hour to find most of the spare clips to get the achievements. Now, there's also a very obvious cheat that you can do in order to make the game show you pretty much everything without trying, although I didn't pick up on this until after the end credits, but I do feel that some people will pick up on this very quickly, and it is kind of quite hard to resist. My biggest issue, however, was the game's apparent lack of a real ending sequence. Now, at a certain point when the game feels you've seen enough to piece together the story, a very out of place MSN style chat menu appears that simply asks you, "Do you know what happened?" At this point, you do not actually have to explain anything, you simply just type yes and the game ends. Now, I definitely would have preferred something a little bit more interactive and satisfying than essentially a pop-up menu just asking me if I'd had enough. Her Story is something really different, and a game that I would 100% recommend to any fan of detective dramas or anyone looking for something a little bit unusual. Her Story is the best FMV game ever made, and one that you should definitely add to your collection. See you later. Night night, Andy.
It would be too sad. Not right now. I'm staying at a friend's.
If you've enjoyed tonight's video, please like and subscribe. Remember to come and check us out at thegametutor.co.uk, where news, articles and videos are updated on a weekly basis. Also, please check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Dailymotion.